We are going to get to know Illustrator by working with some basic shapes and tools. We are making a minion, so follow along. I've opened up Illustrator and now I'm going to make a new file by pressing the New File button. We're going to go to Print. We're going to go to Letter. We're going to make the file name Minion. And we want to work in points because that's kind of the industry standard in graphic design. And I want to go with 612 by 792 and portrait orientation. I'm going to create my doc. And before we get started, we want to make sure we have a couple of toolbars showing. The first one is this one up here. This is our control bar, and it's right underneath this top menu. If you don't have it, you want to go to Window and make sure you have a check mark next to Control. So you could just check that and it'll show up. The other one is our advanced toolbar. So if you go to Toolbars, make sure you have a check mark next to Advanced, not Basic. That is this little toolbar over here. And the advanced options, you just have a few more options than the basic. I'm going to come to the upper left-hand corner of my control bar, and I want to set my fill color to yellow. And I'm going to change my stroke to no stroke. That's this one right here that says none. And then I want to make a rectangle. So I'm going to take my square tool, rectangle tool actually, and I'm going to make a tall, skinny rectangle. I'm going to move him into the middle of this screen. And minions aren't square, so I want to round off my corners by coming up here to my selection tool. And then these little dots here, these are called my live corner widgets. I want to take my selection tool, and if I click one, it selects that one. And then I'm holding down my shift key on my keyboard to click the other one. So I clicked my first corner up here in the upper right corner. On my keyboard, I clicked my shift key and I clicked the upper left-hand corner one. Now that I have just the two of those selected, see that didn't select these on the bottom. I don't want to adjust those just yet. I'm going to, with my cursor, I'm going to just drag in until I have a nice rounded shape on the top. Okay, so I want to do the same thing for the bottom, only I want to round it just slightly, which is why I didn't select all four. So again, I'm coming down to the lower right-hand corner. I'm going to click my live corner widget. I'm going to hold my shift key and I'm going to click the lower left. There we go. I want to have just a little rounded corner. Next, I'm going to duplicate my shape. So I'm going to do that by right-clicking, and I'm going to copy, or on your keyboard, you can Control C, and then I want to paste it in place. So I'm going to right-click, paste, and then I'm going to pick Paste in Place. I can also do this by pressing Control F on my keyboard. I'm going to change my fill color to blue. So I'm going to pick this blue. And then I'm going to deselect my shape just by clicking off of it and to somewhere else on my artboard, like so. Now I want to change my fill color again, anything that's not blue. So I'm going to pick like this pink color, and I'm going to make a square, or a rectangle rather. And I want to cover about 2/3 of my minion body. So I'm going to go right about here. With my pink shape still selected, I'm going to take my selection tool. I'm going to press the shift key on my keyboard and click the blue. So now I have both shapes selected, the pink square and the blue. And what I want to do now is get my Pathfinder tool because I'm going to combine the two. If you don't have Pathfinder on your screen, go to Window, click Pathfinder, And what we want to do here is click minus front. It's the second one here. If you hover over it, it says minus front. There you go. You should end up with a shape like this, starting to look like a minion. I'm going to add the bib to the overalls by taking my rectangle tool again and fill color blue. And I'm going to drag out my rectangle. And I'm going to even it out a little bit. So we'll go right about there so that it's in the center. And then I'm going to add the cutouts to the sides of the overall bib by using my ellipse tool and using the pathfinder tool. So I'm going to click off to deselect. I'm going to find my ellipse tool. And then I want to change my fill color. I'm going to go with that pink again. And I'm going to drag out on one side. And once I get it about the way I like it, I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to go right about here for the cutout of my overalls. And a quick way to duplicate this shape is to, on your keyboard, click Control and Alt at the same time, and then just drag the shape. And then see how it kind of wants to line it up for you. Drag that back over since I somehow brought two of them over to get them nice and lined up. Okay, that looks about good. Now I'm going to make my cutouts by taking my selection tool. I'm going to click the first ellipse, shift, click the second ellipse, and then click the little rectangle in the middle so that I have all three things selected. And I'm going to go to my pathfinder. I'm going to minus front, just like I did for the top. Now I have an overall bib. So I'll click off of this and take a look. If you don't like it, you can undo and you can redo those steps until you like it. I'm going to make the straps by taking my rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a skinny little rectangle. That looks good. And then I want to take my selection tool and turn it kind of on an angle and fit it into place there. Then I need another one. So I could Control C, Control V to copy, or just right click copy, right click paste. And then I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to transform, and I'm going to reflect. That's going to switch it the opposite way. I'm going to OK that, and then I'm just going to push it into place. So now I have my overall bib with my straps, and I'm just ready to clean up my straps now. I'm going to clean up my straps by making a square and using my pathfinder tool again. So I'm going to drag out a square right about here so that I'm covering up the part of the strap that I don't want. I'm going to click both pieces. So my strap and my square, I'm going to minus front. And then I'm going to repeat this on the second side. Take my selection tool, bump it up to the corner. I'm going to shift, click to get both pieces, minus front. Now we're ready to make the eye. Make sure you don't have any of your minion parts selected. We're going to come up here and we are going to change our fill color to white, and we want our outline color black. And then we want to increase our stroke probably to about 9 or 10. I'm going to go with 9 and see how that looks. Going to click on my ellipse tool, and holding the shift key on my keyboard, that'll make it a perfect circle. I'm going to draw out the eye. So I'm just making it kind of off to the side, and then I'll put it in place. That looks good to me. There's our outside. And then I'm going to take my ellipse tool again. I want to change my eye color to green, but you can pick whatever color you want. I don't need a fill color. Holding down my shift key again, I'm going to draw the center of the eye and then just kind of line it up in place. That looks good. I want to group the two together so that they'll move together. So I'm going to select both pieces. And then if I right click, I'm going to pick group. So now I have an eyeball that moves in one piece. There it is. And then to duplicate it quickly, Control Alt drag and then line. I want to get them lined up. There, those look good. Now I want to make the strap for my glasses. So I want to make sure, again, no parts of my Minion are selected. And I'm going to change my fill color to black. And I'm going to make a skinny little rectangle. I'm going to overlap this just a little bit here. A skinny little rectangle right about here. And then I want to right click. I'm going to arrange. I'm going to send it all the way to the back. And then I'm going to right click again. And I'm going to bring forward. That brings it right where I want it. And now I can just snap my band into place. There we are. We're done with part 1 at this point. So you're going to go ahead and move on to part 2 to learn how to make the mouth, the arms, the hands, the legs, and the shoes.